Are you a nonprofit executive or founder, or maybe thinking of starting a nonprofit and you're trying to figure out how you can increase or raise funds for your nonprofit organization? Well, I've discovered a new way to raise 33% more money for your nonprofit organization. Now, according to ChatGPT, in 2023, there was a total of $557 billion raised for nonprofits in the US. That's a lot of money. And what I've discovered will all but guarantee that it will help you and your organization to boost your bottom line by 33% in 2025 if you implement the steps that I'm going to share with you. So I assure you that this 7 to 8 minute video will be a worthy investment of your time. If you're a nonprofit executive, I want to salute you. You're an agent for positive change in your society. How do I know? Because I founded the Texas Black Expo. It's a nonprofit organization that's been serving the state of Texas for over 22 years. We began in our first year by raising $35,000. And then we've gone on to raise over $12 million. In fact, in COVID-19, we provided over 714,000 meals to families in need and had an estimated economic impact of $30 million. This catapulted us into national notoriety. I've been featured on stages with NBA legend Earvin Magic Johnson, Shannon Sharpe, and right now we're in a partnership with the NBA Foundation where we're teaching financial literacy to more than 300 students. I say all of that to say, I know the nonprofit world, I know how to raise money, and I have over 22 years experience of it. So I'm going to share with you what I have learned in my 22 years of running the nonprofit and fundraising. Now, 88% of nonprofits in the US have a budget of less than $500,000. This number is directly correlated to their fundraising, and it is also correlated to the impact that they're able to make in their society. So I believe that in order to make a greater impact, you have to raise more money. So with my IEE sales process, I'm gonna share with you the psychology and the mentality of the consumer, which is the foundation of you generating more sales. And then I'm going to share with you the I4 golden rules for nonprofit fundraising. But before I go any further, I wanna encourage you, click, like, subscribe, and share this video. I also post a question. We may be answering it in a future video. So now let's get into our IEE sales process. As a business owner or the head of your organization, you have to be able to generate sales. Sales is based upon having customers that want to purchase your product. Any customer that's going to purchase your product, there is a 3-step process that they go through in order to make that decision. My first book, Get Up, Get Out, and Get Motivated, The Entrepreneur's Edition. I talk about a concept called hunting versus fishing. We know what hunting is. You put on camouflage, you hide in the bushes, you work hard, you shoot that animal, you make the kill, right? Well, the difference between hunting and fishing is when you fish, you study the fish. You know what they like, you know where they like to eat. You present the right bait, and then they're gonna be drawn to you. Well, when you understand this process, it's gonna make you more attractive as a business owner. So what is the I process? First, the I. The I is for identification. The E is for exploration, and the second E is for execution. Now think about it. Any customer, no matter how old, young, black, white, male, female, will before they make a purchase, they go through this 3-step process. How does it work? You're at the office, you're at work. You're hungry, your stomach starts to growl. It's 11:30. You need to get something to eat, but your next meeting is at 12:30. You have identified that you have a problem. Now you're going to explore the viable option. Well, you know you got a 12:30 meeting, so that means you can't drive too far, and you probably can't sit down and eat. So now what are the close fast food restaurants around? Do you want to do Uber Eats, or are you going to drive? That's the exploration. You're exploring the viable options to meet the problem that you know you have. Because remember, the foundation of any business and any ability to generate sales is solving a problem and meeting a need. Now, once you've identified the problem, you've explored your options, then you're gonna execute on the purchase. So you gotta remember that. And the reason you need to understand this process is, as a business owner, you have to understand that the way in which your customer wants to be communicated to in each of these phases is different. And because most of us are taught to hunt, we communicate like hunters. And when you communicate like a hunter, you're only appealing to this 1/3 that's ready to execute. But what if I'm in the exploration phase? So another example, husband, wife, living in an apartment, finds out the wife is pregnant. The apartment's too small. We want to purchase a house. Do you think they're going to jump in their car and execute a contract or purchase the first thing that they see? No, they're going to explore their options. They want to know about tax rates. They want to know about school districts. They need to know what the interest rate is. How much money do they have to put down? There's a lot of information that they need before they can effectively execute. So what do you do as the business owner, or the realtor in this case? You provide them what they want. So you send them emails about the new developments that's coming. You send them reports on the different school districts. You talk to them about interest rates, down payments. You refer them to lenders. You make yourself an asset. You make yourself attractive. You become a fisher. Now, when you're providing this good information, you're attractive. They're looking for your emails. They're looking for your texts. They're looking for your YouTube videos because you're giving them what they want. But more importantly, you are positioning yourself as the expert in this industry, the expert in this field. And when they get ready to execute, who do you think is going to be the logical choice? So now that you understand the IEE sales process, let's go into 4 ways that you can increase sales for your nonprofit. Number 1, let's go with the first I. It's individual donor. Now, I was blessed to take a course at Boston College a few years ago, and they taught us, it was a course for nonprofit executives, and we had a whole module on fundraising. And one of the things that they taught us was that 73% of all annual giving comes from individual donors. But most nonprofits do not have a giving campaign designed for individual donors or family foundations. So you have to create an annual giving campaign for individual donors. You can't just rely on corporations. So back to the IEE sales process. What is the mindset and mentality? A donor is a customer. A donor is a sale. So you have to understand that they're first going to identify that your organization exists or that there's a problem. Then if they understand that there's a problem, they're going to explore the opportunities to make a difference. And you have to, during that exploration process, be able to provide them relevant information on your organization, what you do, the impact you can make, and then the long-term trajectory, if you will, of your work. And so when they get to the position, whether that be the end of the year and their accountant says, hey, you need to give some money to a charity for a write-off, then they will execute and make that donation to your organization. Next, you have to understand it's not about you. Okay, so what does that mean? I've talked to so many nonprofit executives. Most nonprofit organization leaders have a big heart. They see a problem and they've taken a step to solve that problem. But you have to understand this. Just because you see it as a problem, everybody else doesn't. So you have to align your fundraising efforts, your mission, your vision with the needs to the potential donor source. So if you're trying to get money from a particular corporation, go to their website, read, understand what they give towards, what are their values. If our organization, such as Texas Black Expo, is to create wealth within underserved African American communities, and I go to a website and they're saying that their goal is to help to build environments, recovery after disaster, I know it's not a fit. So I gotta find another organization. Now, I'm not saying you can't get creative and create programs that will meet the need of those organizations, but understand you can't go in and try to convince someone that your mission supersedes the mission or vision of what they deem to be important or valuable in terms of their charitable giving. Now, the third I is to identify your UMP. That's your unique marketing position. Now remember, we all, no matter age, color, race, creed, we all listen to the same station. That's WIIFM. That's what's in it for me. So in your mission, your vision, the way you communicate, it relates to the last step that I shared with you. You have to understand it's not about you, it's about your customer. So your messaging has to speak to your potential donor, telling them that you're gonna make an impact, you're gonna make a difference that's going to impact something that they're gonna feel good about. So a way that I found to do that is ask yourself a few questions. What is their greatest fear? What would they most like to see happen or to accomplish? And then in your UMP, your unique marketing position, tell them that you're gonna provide that. When I started Black Expo, I looked at 20, 30 organizations and their websites. And most of them said, we believe in giving back to communities that we serve. So the UMP of Texas Black Expo was helping businesses reach the communities that they serve. That's what we do. That's what I know they want. And that's what I clearly communicated that we were going to help them to accomplish. So remember, it's not about you, and create a UMP that tells them it's not about you, it's about them. And then lastly, you have to increase your aggression. If you're a nonprofit executive, you probably have a big heart. And sometimes you may feel uncomfortable with sitting down and trying to sell. But the thing I gotta share with you is, if you believe in your organization, if you believe in your mission, and you believe that it's going to help people, and you believe it's going to help to create a better world, it is your duty, it is your obligation to do whatever is necessary, whatever is possible. That's ethical. Don't do anything unethical or shady or underhanded, but you do have to get aggressive. You have to follow up. And one of the things that I often tell people is, when I'm running Black Expo is a priority for me and me alone. Typically, when you're going after a corporation or an individual that has high net worth, they have several dozen individual organizations just like you that's asking for money. And within corporations, many of the people that's over the charitable giving, they have other roles that they have to address and deal with and meet certain metrics in order to keep their job. So the nonprofit side is just a side thing for them. So don't take it personal if you call them and they don't call you back. Call them again. I have a spreadsheet. Every week somebody's gonna get a call from me. If they don't call me back, I'm gonna send them a text. And I'm gonna call them, and I'm gonna call them again, and I'm gonna call them until they tell me to stop calling them. Now, if they tell me, hey, we don't have the budget this year, great. So sorry that it couldn't work out this year. When does your budgetary period open next year? What time do I need to contact you for next year so I can ensure we're included in the budget? You have to get aggressive. You can't just sit back and say, I sent the email, I made the call. Your organization, your nonprofit is only a priority to you and you alone. And you have to get that through your head, and you have to stay top of mind. You have to get aggressive, and you have to make sure your organization continues to exist. And you got to generate that money so that you can help even more people. Now, if you're really serious about increasing your fundraising and sales for your nonprofit organization, you need to get my book, Get Up, Get Out, and Get Motivated, the Entrepreneur's Edition. There is a link in the description. Get that book. I break down the concept, hunting versus fishing. I guarantee you, if you get this concept, it will totally transform the way you look at your donors and your customers, and it will naturally increase sales because it's gonna make you more attractive, and they're gonna be drawn to you, and they're gonna want to give you money. Now, so if you like this video, if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe, and share it with someone else. Post a comment. Who knows, the next question we may answer may be yours.